When I became interested in the blues as a kid, after first hearing Stevie Ray Vaughan, I wanted to know how he made those sounds and played those great solos. Same with guys like Clapton or Hendrix, Buddy Guy, all these other great players I listened to as a teenager. The advice I was often given was to learn the blues scale, and that I could just play that up and down because all notes would work. It didn't really, it sucked. Let's just have a look at one simple concept to get you started with playing a better blues solo, so you can apply this to any style of music that you like. This is a great little concept to begin soloing with more purpose and intent, playing the changes, really nailing those changes, playing with a little bit more authority. We're talking about playing in a blues in E. I'm going to start here on the B note, which is on the G string at the 4th fret, and then I'm going up to the C sharp note on the same string, 6th fret. Then I'm on fret 5, string 2, which is an E, playing the F sharp up 2 frets, A and B. Now I'm going to use that as the basis for the solo that I just took in the intro. Now let me just run through a couple of things here. First of all, when we practice scales, we often do this. It sounds boring. That's not how we actually play music. What we need to do is play with some dynamics. You don't have to just play up and down either. You can actually start to play little fragments. So maybe you could do things like play, start on your middle finger and slide up rather than picking. Straight away, if I slide, and then I'm going back and forth between the E and the C sharp notes, maybe put a little bit of vibrato on, that's a lick. It sounds like a musical line, a musical statement. I haven't done a lot. It sounds a lot more interesting than doing that, though I am using that as the basis, obviously, and I've learned that, but this is how I'm going to learn to play music rather than just scales. The other thing is to think about the dynamics with your picking. So I might go, let that note fade away. I might pick really hard. Really dig in with the pick. I might play very softly. And then maybe pick, a note. Hard or soft or whatever. I might vary it through the phrase like I tried to do there. It's a little bit easier, I find, actually using an amp to do that. I'm just using Line 6 Helix at the moment. I'm plugged straight in to the computer. Fantastic unit and everything else. I just find the dynamics with an amp a little bit easier to play. If I had this going through a PA system, it would probably be a little bit easier too, but that's not available right now. Okay, so when we're talking about this shape, how it relates to everything, what I can see here is that I have the 5th, the 13th, the root, the 9th, the 11th, and the 5th, once again, of the E chord. Now, as I keep changing chords, these notes change. So the B becomes the 9th of the A, C sharp is the major 3rd, the E is the 5th, F sharp is the 13th, back to the A is the root. On the B, I have the root, the 9th, the 11th, the 5th, and the flat 7th. Now all of that becomes really important when you're targeting chords as they change. So blues in E, we're starting on an E note, E chord. And our primary notes are E, G sharp, B and D. So root, 3rd, 5th, flat 7th, they'll be the strongest notes that I can actually play over that chord. Now, when I was a kid, I was told to take something like this pentatonic shape or blues shape. We all tend to start out there. And I could just play it up and down. Now, it didn't really sound like music because I never thought about phrasing, which is how I played it. I didn't think about dynamics. That was not mentioned at all with this advice. And often I heard that any note worked over the scale, any note of this scale worked over the chord. That's not really the case. It's actually not that interesting to play that. I did actually slip another note in there. Shouldn't have done that, sorry. Anyway, so this little shape allows me to explore some other colours, but I can use this as a framework for launching into other notes. So for example, I might bend the C sharp like that up into the D. So I'm bending the 6th, 13th, depending on what octave you're talking about, up into the flat 7. Great little B.B. King lick. Sounds like music straight away, but it's not that hard to play. What I could also do is bend from the F sharp, if I'm over the E chord, up to this G sharp note. Now that's a great little blues line, bending up there, and I can go in so many other places by doing that. So I can bend up and that's really nailing that chord. I can bend up and catch that note on top. I'm playing that with my middle finger, that B note. That's that real country sort of thing. I can bend up to the G sharp and then go like that. Very Robin Ford sort of thing to do. Maybe the Allman Brothers too. Not too sure about that. I don't listen to them a lot, but I've got this idea that they use that sort of lick for whatever reason. Okay, so from the B as well, I can actually extend that note, the C over the E, over an E blues. It certainly can work. You need to think about your resolutions there. But bending up or sliding from the B to the C sharp, fantastic over the A chord, because the C sharp is the 3rd of the A chord. So playing something like that starts to really let the audience know, and the band members, that I know exactly what chord I'm on as I'm playing, and that I'm really highlighting the strengths of the notes in that chord at the time. So from here as well, something else we can do is, starting on this E, I've got all these different options for picking depending on how I want to do it. So some of them I'll use as a passing note. That F note probably wouldn't land on it for too long. But I might do something like that. Where I'm using it as a passing note, going something like that, where I've just gone E, F, F sharp, A, maybe play a line like that, great over the E, but could also go from the, great over the A, I could actually use it to play back into the E. And same up here. So if I keep extending this, I've gone, now the A note there is the flat 7 of the B chord, which is a really strong note. The D note here, if I went up along this string, the D is the flat 7 of the E. It's also the minor 3rd of a B7 chord. It's actually not a bad little note to hit against that for that bluesy sort of feel where you're getting the major and minor thing. Sorry, I stuck that note in there too. which I was going to leave out, but it's there now. So that's the major third of the chord. So just on that, where you see you've got these sorts of chord shapes, you can play the tops of those coming down through the changes. So, if we're going B, down to the A. Hear how that strong that line was? Because I was outlining each chord as it went past. And I finished on that E, and then I might play something like that or whatever. Anyway, so this little shape just starting off with these 5 notes has given me so many possibilities, and I can work through all of this and play a really strong solo line, solo hopefully.